Good evening, guys, and happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. So, like I was telling you guys the last couple days vlog, my mom was not feeling very good. She said that she's hoping to feel better by tomorrow. Like she was feeling like okay today, and was able to take Jack to like school and stuff like that. So she said she'd probably be able to go to the football game tomorrow. But I was telling you guys how like she hasn't been feeling good like kind of through this last week. And so we weren't able to go to Meyer this week. So me and my dad are going to go on Saturday to Meyer and then most likely do Jewel on Sunday. So I should have that haul for you guys. I don't know if my dad's gonna plan on going to Tony's and Caputo's though. Like maybe possibly we might go to Meyer maybe later in the afternoon. Like he can do Tony's and Caputo's in the morning on Saturday or something, or I don't know. Maybe we can go on Saturday though, and then he can just go to Tony's and Caputo's on Sunday. We can do like all the shopping on Saturday. So I don't know, something like that maybe is what might work out. But either way, I will have hauls for you guys. At least Meyer will be from Saturday. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure how everything else is going to work out. But I was also telling you guys how the football games for this week, they're playing, like it was weird last week because, again, the school we were playing had a home game, and it was but they have the fields on Thursday nights because they're doing like construction I think on their field, and so they played Thursday night last week because they were going to like a college that they had you know, like they were, you know, borrowing the field from or whatever. And they only had like Thursdays I think available because I think my dad said that the other team that they were playing like this week, they already played tonight. So I think they had another home game, but obviously it wasn't us this week. It was a different school because my dad found out the results for that already. However though, the team that we are playing this week, we're playing away as well. And I was telling you guys how I think their homecoming, for some reason, they had like they do their soccer game a lot of times on the Friday before their homecoming game, and I don't think that it's just any game that they do. I think it's only their homecoming games where they'll have the like the frost-off team will normally end up playing like just out on like a grass field, like it's the like outfield to like one of their baseball like diamonds, and they just set up like the football field and just have them play there. Like I remember that's how Jack did it for his freshman year. However, this year, which like I said, we didn't play this team, like we alternate a lot of times during the years. So like we played them like at home last year, then we were playing away this year and stuff like that. I think that was how it ended up working out. However, we ended up, the Frost-Off team played tonight. So, since Jack is one of the Frost-Off coaches, they had practice, like he was there for practice with the regular, like with the varsity, and like all the varsity coaches and stuff like that. And then the Frost-Off played at like 7 o'clock or something like that, though. It was like when like the varsity normally would play on a Friday night. The Frost-Off team ended up playing tonight. So again too, since my mom wasn't feeling good and it's 2 different nights that they have it, she did not, we didn't end up going to that. And like my dad didn't even go either because they had, like I think maybe when the buses left, the Frost-Off buses left, they were still having practice for the varsity. So that's why my dad actually stayed for like the whole, like, you know, or for just the varsity practice, whereas Jack was there for that and then left with the team, like I said, because he's one of the Frost-Off coaches, left with them then, and he didn't get home until like probably like 9, almost 10 o'clock at night or something like that, because they had a late game. So whereas like I said, normally the Frost-Off plays before the varsity games on Friday. So I think theirs are normally like 4:30, and then the Frost-Off or the varsity will play at like 7 or 7:30 or something like that. So it was a little bit weird this week, just because of that and playing away, you know, at this other school. And like I said, I know that in the past, again too, they haven't like had much, like, you know, when they end up playing the varsity you know, or the varsity frost off games, like normally again too, they're always on the same night, and you play the one before, and then you play varsity plays on Friday night. Again, it's like around 7 o'clock when the lights, you know, the lights go on, you know, again, Friday night lights. But the frost off team, like I was saying, they normally play before it, so it's just weird to, like, again too, and in like the coaching aspect of things, to like bus kids out there one night and then like and coaches only to have to do it again another night is just, it's kind of weird. So like I said, I'm not sure if that's why though, like because of their homecoming festivities, they are having the soccer game on Friday prior to the varsity football game, because like I said, I know that they did that once or twice in the past, so I don't know if that's what they were doing again this year as well. But like that doesn't happen at our school, which is just like we've never had like a soccer game prior to the varsity game for, you know, for football. Like normally again too, they play on Thursday nights or something like that. So, or maybe it's Wednesdays or Tuesdays or something like that. I know the only games I ever went to was our like soccer team ended up, they won state one year, and I went to, funny enough, they were actually like, I didn't even hear much about it, but my dad was like, oh yeah, like they made it into the playoffs. And I think I went to the second playoff game, and then I think there was 2 or 3 other ones prior to them actually like making it to the finals. And I remember I actually went to all of them, which is like, I've never been to a soccer game ever, like when I was in high school, but this was when Jack's, I think his sophomore year of high school, they ended up winning. And so that's why I was like, I have a good feeling about this. Like, and it was just me and my dad that ended up going, I think the first first game or two, and then Jack and Matthew ended up coming because they were like, oh, this could be really exciting. Like, you know, again, our like town, who we've not won a lot of like state championships and stuff like that. It's weird too though, because I had a weird feeling. I was like, I feel like they, you know, again, I didn't know anything really about the soccer team, but I just had a weird feeling. I was like, I feel like maybe I want to go out and like go and catch some of those soccer games. I was like, because they just, again, making it to playoffs, and like, I don't know if they've made it to the playoffs previously, but you know, and into the finals and stuff like that, but like I never knew if they'd ever like made it to the like playoffs and stuff like that prior, but for some reason I had a really good feeling about it. And like, not even knowing anything about like the team, the coaches, like anything like that, I was just like, I think I want to go and support them. I was like, what if they go all the way and I didn't go to any of the other games, and then I'm just a bandwagoner there for the like final game. And so like I said, that's when I actually went. Like I said, it was probably 3 or 4 of those games prior to the final one that we ended up going to, where I was like, I saw like their whole progression to get there. It was really cool. But again too, I remember those games were not on Friday. From what I remember, it was like a Thursday or something like that. Maybe possibly the final, like the finals were on Friday, but I want to say they weren't. It was like a random like Wednesday or like a Thursday or something like that. But as far as the frost off game goes, they ended up losing by 10 points, which I think was a bummer. They were super close, you know, only like a 10-point difference, but the frost off team, it's kind of tough. Like a lot of times, I don't want to say they struggle more than like the varsity, but like it seems like this year the varsity and like last year even too, they were both really good, and like the frost off team kind of got blown out of the water. But the thing is that Jack's freshman, I think, and his sophomore year when he was on the frost off team, both of those 2 years, they actually did like decently well. Like I want to say they won at least like a game or two. So far this frost off team this year's only won 1 game, but like I said, I want to say that Jack's, you know, or they came really close. Like there's been a couple games so far this season where the frost off team has gotten like blown out of the water, and I was like, geez, this is it's not seem very good. But our varsity team surprisingly has done pretty well. Like we're 500 team. We've won 2 and we've lost 2. Like that is really not happened. I actually was looking it up, and the last time they won 3 games was Matthew's freshman year, and he wasn't on the varsity team his freshman year, but that year they won I think 3 games, and that's been the only time that, or like in the past probably since the 90s or 80s, that they've won more than like 1 game all season. Like Jack's senior year they won 1, his junior year they won 1. I'm pretty sure all 4 years of my high school, I think we only won my senior year 1 game on homecoming, and I was told that the other team let us win because honestly too, I know what team we were playing, and I'm pretty sure that we would have not ended up beating them at all had they not, again, to maybe taken like their stud wide receiver out, you know, something like that. So I have a pretty strong feeling that that actually was probably pretty true, because the team that we were playing was like a state, like, you know, playoff bound team. So I'm pretty sure that we didn't end up winning it on our own. You know, not to cut anybody down, but I'm pretty sure that we didn't end up winning that. Actually, I want to say that was maybe my sophomore year. I actually think my junior and senior year we did not win. I actually wasn't in school my sophomore year. I think that was the only year we won out of my 4 years of high school. And I know my friend would always bring that up too. She was like, you know what, our 4 years of high school, they only won 1 game. So our football team's normally not all that great. So I know that that was the case. Like I said too, all of Matthew's years, I think Matthew won 2 games his senior year, and like I said, I think his freshman year, which he wasn't on the varsity team though, they won 3 games, and that was the last time that we've ever won 3 games since, again, to I think the 80s. And the last time they won in the 80s more than 2 games, they actually did make it to the playoffs. So like I said, it could be really positive for us this year if we could maybe get a couple wins this season, because they are feeling pretty confident about the game tomorrow. So I'm hoping that that's you know, like the coach's confidence, I think the kids' confidence and all that kind of stuff. I hope that that does turn out to be the case tomorrow, which would be awesome. Now, when we get 3 wins, I mean, we could get 4 wins this year, even 5. 5 wins would actually mean like we're playoff bound, potentially. I think it comes down to like playoff points and way to schedule kind of thing, like that kind of stuff. And like, you know, the difficulty of the teams that you're playing and all of that. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think, like I said, they think that they can get at least another 2 wins this year. You know, again, tomorrow's game and then possibly one other one, and then they're hoping that they might even be able to get like another 2 after that. Like, they'll be kind of hit or miss, but they're kind of confident in like another 2 wins based on who they've played already and who they've beaten already. Is like the teams that the other teams have played these teams and ended up winning against them, were teams that we've already beaten. So looking at it kind of that way, I think that's why they're kind of, you know, again, confident a little bit more in the ability to potentially get a couple more wins this year, which would be really awesome. So anyways, though, I am going to take a shower and get to bed. Got to some stuff today, which was pretty nice. I got grocery lists done and things like that too, so I don't have to worry about doing too much of that tomorrow. But I will share with you guys, like I said, when I have that haul, probably on Saturday at least. So anyways, though, I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.